In this video, we will going to talk about the mode of action of Vibrio Cholerae. Okay, so first Vibrio Cholerae will enter the stomach, and in the stomach, those comma-shaped bacterium shut down the protein production and consumes energy and nutrients. Okay, that means they conserve the energy and nutrients to survive in the acidic environment. Okay, so what they are doing, at first they will enter the stomach, and in the stomach they will shut off the protein production so that they can conserve their energy and nutrients and survive the acidic environment. That is why when we have talked about the risk factors of Vibrio cholerae, we have told you there that person who have low acidity in their lungs or low acidity in the stomach or low gastric acidity are at high risk of developing severe symptoms with Vibrio cholerae. Okay, so the acidic environment of the stomach, we should say a natural immune system that protect us from the Vibrio cholerae. Now after that, from the stomach it will go to the intestine. Okay, and in the intestine it uses its flagellum to move towards the intestinal wall. Okay, so they are using their flagellum to move towards the intestinal wall, and then they will propel through the mucus layer. Okay, and bind over here, that is the surface of the epithelial cell lining the intestine. Okay, and here they will attach with a villi that is present on the surface of the epithelial cell. Okay, so that what I have written here, that but once Vibrio cholerae is in the intestine, it uses its flagella to move towards the intestinal walls and propel through the mucus layer on the top of the epithelial cell lining the intestine and attached to the finger-like cellular projection that is present on the surface of the epithelial cell named villi. So upon this attachment, they will start multiplication and produce various kind of toxins. Okay, I hope up to that part it is very clear to you that first they will enter the stomach. In the stomach they will shut off their protein production, and not only that, they will also conserve the energy and nutrients. Okay, and in the stomach their initial focus is to survive in that acidic environment. Okay, now from the stomach they will enter the intestine, and in the intestine they will use their flagellum to move towards the intestinal wall. Okay, and then they will propel through the mucus layer and attach to the surface of the epithelial cell. In the epithelial cell or in the surface of the epithelial cell there is a cellular projection called villi. Okay, so they will attach with those villi. Okay, upon securing their place they will start multiplication and produce various kinds of toxins. Okay, now they can produce toxins depending on their strains. Okay, some strain will produce some type of toxins that would not cause any kind of complication, or in some cases they will cause mild clinical symptoms. Okay, that is some type of strain do, and other type of strain produce a special type of toxin which is a AB type toxin in nature, and which is a exotoxin named cholera enterotoxin or choleragen that causes severe clinical symptoms. Okay, so how they do this, we have talked about this in details in the ETEC video lecture series, that is enterotoxicogenic E. coli, where we have told you that the heat labile toxin that ETEC produce follows the same mechanism as Vibrio cholerae. Okay, so according to that mechanism, the choleragen will first enter the intestinal epithelial cell, and in the cell they do a process called ADP ribosylation of the G alpha subunit of the G protein. Okay, and as a result the G alpha subunit remains activated. Okay, and this activated G alpha subunit will keeps activating the adenylate cyclase. They will activate the adenylate cyclase for a longer time, and this adenylate cyclase in turn involves in converting all the ATP present in the cell into cyclic AMP. As a result, there is a increased concentration, or I should say the overproduction of cyclic AMP. Okay, now those cyclic AMP will activate protein kinase A. Okay, and this will be also a overactivation. Okay, that ultimately opens the CFTR channel, that is a channel which secretes chloride ion for a longer time. Okay, and as a result too much chloride ion will be released in the lumen. Okay, so along with that sodiums will also release, and the channels who are involved in let them back into the channel are also inhibited. Okay, as a result the sodium and chloride that are released in the lumen cannot go back to the cell. Okay, and as a result there are increased concentration of luminal chloride and luminal sodium. Okay, that creates a osmotic imbalance between the intestine and the surrounding tissues. Okay, under such circumstances water, bicarbonate ion and potassium also rush into the lumen of the intestine. Okay, and this too much amount of fluid ultimately cause a clinical symptom named watery diarrhea. Okay, so that is the overall idea of mode of action. Okay, exactly same what enterotoxicogenic E. coli do. Okay, so I hope this video will be helpful to you. Thank you for listening to this class.